The content of some books at the Abilene Public Library drew a crowd tonight to an advisory meeting at the library's South Branch, and many there requesting that certain books be moved to their own section away from children and young adults, and one book be removed altogether. Some still voicing opposition to the removal and claiming that not every book in question is explicit or inappropriate.
So KTAB's Noah McKinney spoke with attendees on both sides of the issue. He brings us his report from this heated meeting at the library. A warning to you viewers, this report contains language and blurred imagery that some may find sexually explicit. For our top story tonight.
No words minced, as nearly 60 residents came before the Abilene Public Library Advisory Board to have their voices heard.
You're afraid because you don't know. You don't know people like us.
Why do we want to experiment on them at the say-so of some? I'm not pointing at anyone. He asked you to keep quiet, lady.
The topic of discussion, sex and sexuality.
I don't want my kids seeing this.
One book in particular caught the eye of many dissenting parents.
Stuff that I wouldn't even look at, that I believe is very vulgar, explicit in content.
Dive deeper with your. Just make sure any objects you put in there have a flared base.
Let's Talk About It, The Teen's Guide to Sex, Relationships, and Being a Human, is the only book that parents like James Sargent have requested be removed from the library, claiming that under Texas Penal Code 4322, it's pornography.
So if it's Texas law, then why is it different for the Abilene Public Library?
The advisory board voted to create a 3-person team to put the book under review, though this group came to tackle one other issue.
We are asking that we take all the sexually explicit material and section it off into one section.
Others taking issue with what exactly constitutes sexually explicit.
That freedom is taken away from me when on the end cap it says the bride was a boy in the children's section.
All of us in Abilene are very opposed to pornography.
Former Abilene school teacher Monica Warren Walker says the LGBTQ youth of Abilene should see themselves represented on the shelf as well.
If there's a book that just talks about Heather having 2 mommies, that's just a loving relationship. There's no pornography in that.
If a parent or guardian wants to allow their 5-year-old to read that material, they would have the freedom and the right to do so.
Censorship is not just about banning materials. It's also about creating barriers to access.
For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Noah McKinney.
Thank you very much, Noah. The advisory board took no action on moving the over 100 books in question to a new section, as it has not yet on the agenda. But it is expected that they will address it at a future meeting as residents continue to voice concern.